So what happened to our poppy dispenser? I thought we were going to have one in the office this week. Tomorrow? Yeah. Okay. How many? Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay. That's all right. It's okay. All right. Hey, bye. How many poppies have you been through? I'm working on number 3. They keep flying off. I guess that's how we keep the Canadian Legions in fine financial form, as we keep losing our poppies. Anyway, it is poppy season. Hope you got yours on. Welcome to season 2, episode 44 of Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. That would be me. We are fueled by Gales Gas Bars Limited. We are powered by WeeStreem. We are supported as usual by Performance Heating and Air. Carlo and the gang, thank you for sticking around and keeping us healthy here. And also Virgin Insurance, Mark Shirk and his gang, another Niagara born and bred company serving all your insurance needs. We are heading to Fiddler's Poorhouse. Dave McParian and his staff, always kind to let us disrupt their lives every Thursday afternoon here on Niagara 411 Live. And to Nick and all of you contributors at Niagara 411, thank you very much. Interesting show coming up for you today. A lot of things been happening over the last little while, and we're going to be talking about living wage. That's been in the news, and it's in the news even more today. So if you want to hang around, and in 30 seconds, while you're watching this beautiful introduction to this program, we'll be right back. Stick around. Hello, 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 hello. Please indulge me for just a second while I do the poppy transfer. One of the hardest things to do is put a poppy on a leather jacket. A, you're not quite sure if you want to put a pin into a leather jacket, but B, you know you got to wear one, and then it takes a lot to get it through. Anyway, those are first world problems, I know. Now, there has been also great debate over the last little while as to which side you're supposed to wear the poppy on. Kevin, have you been? Kevin Jack, ladies and gentlemen, executive producer of this program, co-founder of WeeStream, that is the technology behind this artistry that you will witness today. Kevin, have you been reading about the sort of dilemma between left or right?
No, I didn't know there was a debate.
Well, there is. I'm not fully versed in it, but there's something. You know, have you seen the English poppy with the green leaf on it?
It's quite nice.
Yeah. Well, apparently, it's supposed to be put on this particular side so that leaf points to 11 o'clock.
I didn't know that. I never heard that.
Well, it's new.
In all the years of Remembrance Day, never heard that one.
See, that's why you should tune in this show. And you can join this show, by the way. So anyway, I'm not entirely wrong. If you're yelling at your screen right now or your phone because the idiot host has the poppy on his right breast lapel area, I did it on purpose so that we could, or you could, do a little bit of, as they say, do your own research.
I always thought it went over your heart.
Me too. I'm with you on that. Me too. So welcome to the program. Unfortunately, it is starting to get a little bit cooler. So we didn't open the garage door window today. Sorry. It's still a nice setting though, Kevin. It's still a wonderful spot to be. You're a little warmer than you were last. See, I like it cool.
Yeah, it was cold last week.
I'm like the David Letterman of live streaming. I like it cold. Because it keeps me awake.
You would have loved last week. It was chilly in here last week, and it's a chilly one again in downtown St. Catharines.
Keeps me awake. We do have a couple of guests coming up on the program today. Let me highlight those for you right now. At 20 after 12-ish, 12:20-ish, Amy Layton is going to be joining us. Amy is a Niagara realtor. She is the organizer of the Lip Sync Battle. a really popular event, an entertaining event too, here in Niagara, and it happens tonight at the Greg Fruin Theatre in Niagara Falls. And it's a bit of a different twist, because this would normally have been a live attended event, but this one is going to be a virtually attended event. People still have to buy tickets to go. Our friends over at a company called WeeStreem, Kevin, have you heard of that company?
Yeah, I heard of them. They're Ontario's premier live streaming company.
They do a pretty good job.
They do a great job.
Yeah. So this is a bit of a different twist. Often when WeeStream will stream events, it's up and over social media for the public at large to enjoy. In this case, this is a very specific audience, those people who have purchased tickets. So this is kind of neat. WeeStream is basically televising professionally, if you want to use the word televising, this event, but only to ticket holders. How does that work, Kev?
So we're
Explain
basically, when you buy a ticket, and Amy will explain it all, you buy a ticket, and that gets you access to the stream.
Oh, to the link.
To the actual live stream.
Oh,
yeah, here,
okay.
you know what? I can show you some of last year's, because it was so much fun. This is such a great
Our pal
night.
Patrick Alexander, by the way. There's David Green. He's going to be the host again this year.
Exactly. So here, let's skip ahead. Oh, this was one of the pre-recorded performances. Like, this is really good, this stuff.
That guy looked like a young Gene Hackman.
I think they're doing a Weird Al.
Well, this one. I mean, before him.
Yeah, okay.
That's definitely a Weird Al.
Yeah, and it's all lip sync. I'd play the music, but we'd get dinged for copyright.
No, that's okay.
Oh, I mean, this one here is just
Now,
phenomenal.
didn't our pal Patrick Alexander do Madonna last year?
Oh, he did. He did Madonna and he did Vogue, and it was so good. It was
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, and I know I saw Patrick's post, and he mentioned who he was going to be doing this year, and I forget. I'm sorry, Patrick.
Yeah, this kid was phenomenal.
Well, that's all happening tonight now, and we're going to be talking to Amy Layton more about that, as to how you get tickets, how you can watch, and Kevin will chime in, etc. She's coming up in a few minutes, 10, 12 minutes from now. All right? Also, Kim Shennan will be here. Kim is the Human Resources Manager, HR, if you will, HR Manager for Gales Gas Bars. And yes, Gales is our primary sponsor here, our key sponsor on the program. But I didn't know this. Gales also, among many other community things that they support and highly involved in Niagara. However, Gales is the only. This is a fact that it rather kind of blew my mind, frankly. The only living wage champion in the petroleum industry in our province. Think about that for a second. The only living wage petroleum champion in that industry here in Niagara. Living wage champion, petroleum industry in Ontario. Wow. Now, what is a living wage here in Niagara or in Ontario? I'm not quite sure where that level ended up, but we'll find out. We'll find out what is behind that. And of course, this is a very timely conversation we're having today, because our Premier just announced that they would be supporting the increase of the minimum wage here in the province, including the service industry, including servers in restaurants and bars, etc., to $15, and I believe it's to be taking effect the beginning of the year, Kev. I think it's January.
Yeah, January 1st is the proposal.
Yeah. So this is a really interesting dovetail of two conversations about wages and income in the province of Ontario. So Kim Shennan is going to be joining us at about 12:40 today. So that was the increase. Premier Feulled and Minister Bethlen Falvey and Minister McNaughton announced an increase to the minimum wage. And he was getting hammered. And again, we're of no particular political stripe on this show. I couldn't care less whether you're blue, red, orange, or green, or indifferent, or plaid. I really rainbow. I really don't care. We don't care. All we were talking about before the show, Kevin and I, is the fact that Doug Ford, about 3 years ago, I think, was vehement in his opposition to increasing the minimum wage to $15 in the province of Ontario, and people are criticizing him for flip-flopping and now promoting it. Well, things change. It can change in 3 years. And the thing that I find a little bit refreshing, and again, this is going to sound like I'm promoting a political party, and I'm not, but for a political party or a politician to say, okay, well, 3 years have gone by, things have changed, I kind of rethought it. Is that okay? Why isn't that okay? I rethought it. All right. So that's what's going to happen. Kevin and I were also having a conversation on which we're kind of divided. Think about this for just a second. You go into a restaurant after the beginning of the year. It's now January. You know that your server in your restaurant is going to be paid by their employer $15 an hour. Does it affect how you tip? Kevin said, yeah. He said it might. There might be. Sorry to put words in your mouth, but there might be a second guessing of how much one tips if you know that your server is now being paid $15 an hour as opposed to the server wage of what it was, 7, 8, 9,
depends.
whatever.
It depends why you're tipping, and people have different theories as to why they tip. But one of them is that the server is making a special wage that's below minimum wage. And they're eliminating that. There's no more server wage. So we have to tip them just to bump them up to minimum wage. But other people will say, no, we're tipping for good service. Well, if you know that there's no second tier now for server wages, they're getting the same wage as everybody else. Should we continue to tip? I don't know.
I just had a nice steak. I don't put that much thought. It's not costing me $15 an hour. It's costing their employer $15 an hour. I can tip what I always tip.
I know, but your steak's going up.
Hear me out. And now the servers are actually elevated. If your tipping goes down because they're making more on the front end, then what are they gaining? What are we accomplishing?
It's a reasonable question. I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of people. I mean, we're just so conditioned to tip.
I don't believe you. I don't think people will think about it that way.
I think a lot of people will. A lot of people will start saying, well, why am I tipping now?
Cold. I don't know.
I think for a lot of people, that was the justification as to why they tipped.
But tip, just so you know what tips mean, is to ensure prompt service. That's what tips stands for. I don't tip as much for crappy service as I do for great service.
Yeah, I would agree. But I think more people would be apt to tip nothing now if they got poor service, saying, screw it. You're getting $15. I'm out of here. That stunk.
Wow.
Hey, Lee,
harsh.
Breaking on Niagara 411 this morning is we're on the lookout for these two.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, ladies and gentlemen, have destroyed, and I'm not trying to make fun of it because it's a terrible thing for that ballpark to be destroyed. But those are the hardened criminals right there that were responsible for destroying a ballpark that used to not look like this or that or that. It's a crop circle. And again, not making light of it because it's going to cost a lot of money, and it's terrible that a recreational facility has been damaged in that way. But, oh my gosh, there's some groundings coming up for a couple of young lads, one on a dirt bike, one in a quad, ripping up that field. And it's not, we were talking about this earlier as well before we went to air, and it's not as if they went into that grassy area and realized that there was a problem and took off in a hurry. They spent some quality destructive time in there. I mean, they did it up right. I'm sure we'll figure it out, and as soon as things dry up, we'll get it graded and sodded and stuff, and baseball will continue, but at taxpayers' cost. And oh, those lads are in so much trouble.
So it is there in Chippewa.
Yeah, it's the newer area,
and I think it's the Six Diamonds that SPN always hold their provincial championships at, and what have
Patrick
you.
Cummings Memorial Sports Park or whatever. Yeah. So, I saw that and I thought, oh my God. And I'm not happy it happened, don't get me wrong. But I am really, really happy that it wasn't some misguided idiot adult in a pickup truck that decided to get hammered and screw up people's lives, because that's often what we see. It was two kids that made a mistake, and granted, it was a big mistake, but they will, I hope, learn from it.
Hey,
There they are. Those are your hardened criminals right there.
And somebody knows who they are. I mean, those jackets, those ATVs,
Oh.
the four-wheeler. And the comments are absolutely going bananas on Niagara 411. We'll get to some of those. Lee, we always encourage people to join the show whenever they want. Amy Layton's in the waiting room. We'll get to her in just a second. But a colleague of mine and friend of the program, David Burrows, is joining us from Sarnia, Ontario.
David Burrows, welcome to Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. How are you today, my friend?
Hey guys, thanks so much for
Let me turn this
doing
up.
This. Yeah, test 1, 2, buckle my
Yeah,
shoe.
no, it was me, David. It's all my fault. I didn't have.
You lost your left ear.
Yeah, I'm such a professional. I didn't have myself plugged in. How
I love live.
How the heck are you?
I'm doing great here in Sarnia, and I just happened to jump right in when you're talking about this minimum wage hike.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. What do you think?
I have an interesting, I think, perspective on this, because I come from the bar business. I was a bar owner for some years as well, bar/restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And like when you put, first of all, when it's $15 an hour, it's $15 an hour to the employee, but it's not $15 an hour to the employer. It's more like closer to 20-ish an hour that they're paying out, because you've got to match the Canada pension plus a percentage more than the employee. Same with EPP, employment, or EI, I guess you call it now. I have to pay what you pay plus another 1 point something percent. So it's more, and I don't think a lot of people understand that.
Okay.
Unless you're an employer. But as far as the server goes, Kevin makes a really good argument, and I've had great arguments with Kevin.
Well, yeah, me too.
Respectfully, of course.
Obviously.
But I mean, so $15 an hour, here's the other side of that coin. I worry, or I wonder if some servers will go, I don't have to work as hard because I'm getting my $15 an hour. So I don't have to work for my tips as hard anymore.
I don't buy that for a second.
I think some people will slack off a little bit. Because now,
So you had
said,
so wait a minute. Wait.
I think that's a bad choice.
Hang on a second. You got Dave the day before. You got Dave, all Mr. Bubbly and can't do enough for you. And because his wage goes up to $15 an hour, the next day he's surly Dave and doesn't want to talk to you.
No, I'm saying
Really?
they may not work as hard. I think we'll see a little bit of that because people like probably Kevin will say, well, I'm not tipping you as much now because you're making more money, so I'm going to keep money in my pocket.
Now, David, you've been an owner of a bar before. Another thing that was discussed is that staffing levels may go down, and therefore service would decrease. Like on a potentially busy night, it doesn't cost the bar much to maybe bring in an extra server or two on the possibility that it'll get busy.
Right.
But now
if you can find them.
Yeah, now it's going to cost you a lot more.
Okay, let me ask you this. One of the worst, and coming from that industry, you have to agree with me, one of the worst possible jobs in the service industry has to be a server that serves breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
All right? So
Yeah.
you got a $3.95, or even if it's a $10 breakfast. You're not serving alcohol. It's the low end of buying food out. And 9 times out of 10, they're older populations. Tipping sucks at breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
So if
Yeah,
there's
you really got to work your butt off.
Yes. And there's nobody that is more particular about their food than somebody that just ordered eggs.
Right. It
right?
better be over easy exactly the way.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. These eggs.
And I want crispy bacon. I don't want just any bacon.
Yeah, Hey, you're exactly.
No,
That's exactly where I'm coming
100%.
from. So
But
trust me,
that
if there's anybody that deserves $15 an hour, it's somebody that's serving breakfast.
Oh, okay, but then you talk about that older generation. We'll say the senior generation that you just mentioned, and they suck at tipping.
Yeah, they do.
I think that might be the effect there. It's like, well, hey, they're making $15 an hour now. I don't have to tip at all, or I certainly tip a whole lot less. Like I tip based on service right now.
Well, that's the whole point.
And if you suck, you know what? And this might sound really brutal. I'll leave you 5 cents before I'll leave you 0.
Yeah.
Because that sends a message. And my wife says,
We just had the exact conversation, David, and I was saying the same thing. If I leave them,
I missed that.
no, we were doing it off the air.
We were off the air.
Yeah, saying that if I leave nothing, they might think that I forgot to tip. If I leave them 50 cents or $1, then they know, oh no, I didn't forget to tip. I just tipped accordingly.
Mm-hmm. And Kevin and I have been out doing business together, and we go and have our dinners and whatever. And we've had those little brief discussions, like, what do you think that server was worth? Mm-hmm. Right? And I'll say, wow, I've been sitting here for like 20 minutes. Nobody even smiled at me. You're already like, the experience of sitting in that bar or restaurant begins the moment I walk through the door.
Yeah. Now, being a former operator in that industry, the reason that somebody hasn't paid attention to you for 10 or 15 minutes, is that because of the server, or is it because of bad management and the fact that they don't have enough people on the floor?
I'm talking about like when a server walks by me and they might be super busy and they look right at me and make eye contact, but they look at me and then they look away and they keep walking.
You're not their table.
I don't care. It's the whole experience. Okay, you know what? Way to stir it up there, Lee. Let's share tips. Let's pool our tips together and share. Oh boy. Try to make that happen.
I know.
Because I work harder than you do, Lee, and you're walking by people that's not your table.
Yeah.
You have your sections, in my opinion, but it's everybody's table. And you make sure that glass of water and that coffee's full.
I agree, and I know I'm being facetious here, but it just
That's okay. I love it.
It just again pokes the conversation in the way of the fact that most conversations these days have varying shades of gray between that black and white kind of position.
Oh yeah.
And the COVID experience has created so many black and white positions, so many black and white camps of you're right, I'm wrong.
Marriages have broken up.
Yeah, we have a really tough time doing the Canadian thing, and that is the ultimate Canadian compromise and meeting somewhere in the middle. We have a really tough time meeting in the middle these days, don't you find?
Well, I mean, the C word's a really great example of that. The C or the P word, however you want to refer to it. And I have some friends that I've known for years, like 30 years or more. From my high school days, and this whole, vax, to vax or not to vax, that is the question, right?
Yeah.
And I respect everybody's opinion, and I don't want to get into any, what's right or wrong or whatever. But
well, we'll be here till supper time, and then we'll have to tip you.
At least, right? I'm not looking for tips. I'll give you a tip. Yeah. Some people that I was surprised that they weren't getting the vax, for example.
Yeah.
But only because I knew them as a friend, and we've never had to have that kind of conversation before. But I've had the respectful conversations. May I ask you why? And blah blah. Well, yeah, but we've never gotten into that. I haven't lost any friendships over it. Even though there's been some hard conversations, very firm about where each other stands, but we're still friends and we still kind of like each other, right?
Yeah.
I've only had one where I probably got. I got into it, and it was just like the whole conspiracy thing, and I kind of lost myself over it, and I was just like, really? And then I caught myself going, like, David, why are you even having that conversation with that person?
Yeah.
But it's the emotional attachment to it all. But I know you got to kick me out here, but I really think that people need to just think about what they're tipping for, And I know you don't agree with me. I unfortunately, I think some are just going to go like, I don't have to work as hard anymore because I was working hard to make $15
No,
an hour.
I agree. I agree that all these things are possibilities. And
I do think that if you're smart, though, you work hard. Now you can make 20 an hour instead of making 15 an hour.
There you go.
Tip. So
See,
I'm not saying it's the right thing to do.
That's the side of the ledger that I come down on. Dave, thanks very much for joining us. Give my regards.
I love what you guys do, by the way. Keep it up, guys. And thanks for having
Give
me.
my regards to Sarnia. I have a wonderful connection. It was my first full-time job in the broadcast business was in Sarnia. I have fond memories of it. So give my regards to the...
CKTY probably.
What was it? CKJD was the radio station.
Oh, my goodness. CKJ. I probably listened to you on the radio.
Yeah, maybe so. Anyway, give my regards to Blue Water Country, and we'll talk to you soon. All right. Sorry to keep Amy Layton waiting. Amy is a realtor in Niagara. She is also the driving force and the organizer of Lip Sync Battle for Women's Place of Niagara. And that takes place tonight at the Greg Fruin Theatre in Niagara Falls. It is going to be available over a Zoom link to all ticket holders. It's not going to be streamed at large by WeeStreem, but it will be streamed to ticket holders, which I think is a really cool concept. And to tell us how that happens is Amy. Hi, Amy. How are you? Oh, we don't have an audio click in there.
There we go.
How you do? Yeah, there we go. So I'll ask you again. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm terrific. I'm terrific.
Oh boy,
so,
that's like the statement of the last year, a month or year and a half. You're muted.
Yeah, you've had a few of those, I'll bet, huh?
Oopsie. Yeah, I've had a few Zoom meetings. Yeah.
It is a benefit, I suppose. Yeah, looking on the every cloud has a silver lining sort of thing. We've all learned to communicate in a variety of ways that maybe we never would have learned before. So we have this new skill set going for us now.
Yes, sir. We sure do.
Okay, Lip Sync Battle. The proceeds of which go to Women's Place of Niagara. And let me take that and put it right up to the top of the priority list right now,
Yes.
Amy.
Yep.
Talk to us, first of all, about Women's Place of Niagara and why your involvement.
Well, with Women's Place, they were instrumental in helping my sister and a couple of friends years ago. And the work they do is just so needed. It's more than just opening the door and allowing women and children to come in just initially, maybe like the day of that they're escaping domestic violence, but they do so much more for them with their aftercare and legal services and counseling and just so many things. I mean, my sister's situation years ago, I mean, we're talking like 8-9 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
She left a bad situation and she's still, if she needs it, wherever she is in the province, in the country, they will help her out if she needs things. And it's so needed. And during COVID, unfortunately, domestic violence was on the rise, seeing that everybody had to stay at home and couldn't leave. So it was, I wasn't going to let this hinder my fundraising efforts for them.
And that presents an interesting scenario that I had, and the reason I'm hesitating, because I'm surprised I hadn't thought of this before. For places and organizations like Women's Place of Niagara and the quarantining at home and the lack of opportunity to get out and do things, etc., and the need to not mingle with other people, that must have brought some significant challenges to people living in potentially violent environments.
Yeah. This is what I'm told by the staff at Women's Place. Like, I don't work there; I just fundraise for them.
Right.
But this is I mean, it's not something I thought of either. Even with my couple of friends and my sister, telling me their stories and how they were able to get out when they did, and And then talking to Amanda Bryant and the staff there at Women's Place at the beginning of COVID, and seeing their posts on their own Facebook page about how this is, on the rise. And then at the same time, so many people could not have their fundraising events because we had to social distance and everything was shut down and closed, and it posed a gigantic double problem. So, we always do this event in November. So last year, I actually upped it to September because we had a fear that we were going into another lockdown, which ended up happening. So it's a good thing that we upped the date. But I thought there's still going to, I know a lot of people were having a really financial hardship and maybe not able to get tickets or donate, but I know that there are a lot of people still that were able to. And I thought I'm still going to do this. So I contacted Kevin at WeeStreem and said, hey, someone had brought up streaming it live and maybe we can still do it that way. And that's like, what a great idea. So,
well, on our screen for our viewers right now is a performance airing from last year's competition of the lip sync battle from our pal Patrick Alexander, who did a Madonna thing last year. It was just hilariously good.
It was awesome. And he's performing again this year.
He is performing tonight. Yes. Now, let's talk about tonight. Are there still tickets available? How do people get them? How do they watch? How does this whole thing work?
So it's very easy. Seeing that it's virtual, there's depends on how many people can be in the Zoom room on WeeStream's Zoom room, but you just have to go to. It's very easy. Sync Battle Niagara.ca.
Okay.
And just make a donation there through the. It'll take you to a donation page actually through the Royal LePage Shelter Foundation.
Okay.
Because I work for Royal LePage Niagara, so I hook up with them the last few years to just to help out with just some notoriety, some advertising. It's all, we're not for profit, so dollar for dollar it goes to Women's Place. And just have to go to that link and click make a donation, and once you do that, you will automatically get an email with the Zoom link to watch the show tonight.
Oh,
and anywhere you have an internet connection and you can get on Zoom, you can watch it from anywhere.
Very, very cool. So all you have to do is make the donation and poof, you're in.
That's it. And any donation amount, it doesn't matter. It doesn't, you'll see that, people are donating different amounts. It doesn't matter. It does $1, $5, $20, $100, whatever. Anything will get you the Zoom link.
That's
just
great.
Any donation over $20 will get you a tax receipt.
How many years have you done this now, Amy?
This is our 6th year.
6th. That's awesome.
This is the 6th annual.
Good for you.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. So in the first 5 years, we've raised over $30,000 for Women's Place through this.
Well,
which is not.
Congratulations. If we had a crowd here, we'd applaud for you. Now, I want to bring our exec producer in here, Kevin, because of course he and his company WeeStream are going to be streaming this to the ticket holders, to the donators today.
Yep.
And Kevin, what will the donators see, the ticket holders, and what will the performers see?
Well, the ticket holders, if you want to support this, you're going to see, and I just put up, boy, could those guys' hips move or what? These guys put so much effort into their lip sync performances, and you get to see them performed live with our full multicam production. It looks great. It sounds great. You get to experience that. And what we get to see in the theater is, of course, that nice Brady Bunch up on the big screen, and everybody that watches will have an opportunity to unmute themselves and comment live and kind of interact back and forth with the performers and David and everybody else. So it's really interactive. It's a lot of fun, and you really feel like you're there.
That's what I was wondering, because for performers to not get that feedback in some way, to just do a show on camera or to like a one-way communication is what I'm trying to say. It's hard because live performers feed off the audience.
Yes.
And
they do.
So Kevin, they will have a chance to get that kind of audience feedback from this.
Yeah, 100%. It's a lot of fun. It's the best of both worlds, and COVID has forced us to do a lot of interesting and unique things, some bad, and this would be one of the ones that is some good. Sometimes there's something good. You go, hey, this is a new way of approaching this, and it's actually pretty good. It's pretty efficient. Awesome. Everybody seems to enjoy it.
Awesome. These are the kinds of things that I guess as I was talking about earlier, are the silver linings of bad clouds in things that we go through, because we learn how to enjoy or to perform or to accomplish goals that we never needed to do before. We didn't have to think outside the proverbial box, and these things make us do that.
Right.
So, and kudos to you, Amy, for continuing the fight, because it would have been easy to say, it's too tough. We can't do this anymore, so we'll have to do something else. But kudos to you for keeping this going.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm certainly not a quitter. I put my mind on something. It's going to get. We'll figure out a way. We figure out a way to get it done.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. I just heard. Yeah, Kevin mentioned David. Yeah, so David Green coming back for 18, 19, 20. This is his 4th year hosting with us.
Yeah.
Because he's just so awesome. Like, why wouldn't we have him back?
Oh, David's a great guy.
And this is the first year at Lip Sync Battle. It's always been for Women's Place of South Niagara, but this is the first year we're having a group perform from Women's Place, like the staff. So there's a group of 5 of them coming in that are performing tonight, and it's
what
gonna
time?
be awesome.
What
I've been
time?
trying to get a group from there to perform for the last few years, and this is the first time.
Excellent. What time does the show start?
Starts at 7 p.m.
7.
And we'll have just a few introductions, and then we'll hit the show. We'll have a special greeting from Niagara Falls Mayor Jim Diodati. Sent us a really nice video message. I keep looking down because I'm looking at our meter here. So the goal to raise for tonight, I set a goal of $5,000. We're at almost $4,300.
All right.
So let's break 5 before the show starts. Everybody, go
That would be awesome.
Get a virtual ticket and party at home. And hopefully this is the last virtual event you'll ever have to go to.
Yeah, hopefully so, and hopefully we'll be resplendent in person at the 2022 Lip Sync Battle.
I hope so, yes.
In spite of the fact that people aren't there in person, I have to also give a thumbs up to Greg Fruin and the Greg Fruin Theater people, because there aren't too many places that are more fun to watch a performance in than the Greg Fruin Theater. I just love the way it's designed. Their staging is second to none, and so kudos to the Greg Fruin people as well for this.
Yeah, I can't thank them enough. He's been wonderful. Of course, when you book an event, you pay your deposit, and you kind of, we're always 100% sponsored with this event, and he's kind enough to let us still use the theater for the deposit that we paid, to be honest. And so just a super great guy. I
Terrific.
mean, like, it's
okay.
So happy. It's going to be a great time.
Amy Layton, thank you very much for all that you do, and congratulations on your sixth annual Lip Sync Battle tonight at 7:00. So go to the internet there and get your ticket and log on and have a blast. And also to Women's Place of Niagara, thank all of you folks for what you do during challenging times as well. So great initiative, Amy. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Lee.
Okay.
Get your ticket.
Cheers. Have fun.
It is so much fun, Sometimes we do events that are a little drab, and other times we have Lip Sync Battle Niagara, which is just so much fun to be a part of.
Yeah, what do we want to do? Do we want to do a city council meeting, Lip Sync Battle?
Well, let me tell you, that budget meeting in St. Catharines was fire last night, Lee.
Whoa, okay, yeah.
Why did you see the budget coming forward from the library? What? That's some riveting stuff.
I have to confess, no, I did not, Kevin. But it's an important service. But that being said, it is an important service, not only in COVID times, but these times have awakened us to the fact that if we want to be in touch with our communities, if we want to be in touch with our municipalities and know what's going on, streaming services like WeeStream, well, there is nobody like WeeStream, but this kind of streaming service is an important link with our communities, because that's the way we do it now.
Yeah, we think we provide valuable service for the
Yeah.
for the clients of the communities that we serve. So
How many
absolutely.
municipalities do you do now?
I think we're up to 5, and we got a meeting with another municipality tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
So people are really hopping on board here. The live streaming and the accessibility that it brings for constituents across Niagara is unparalleled. So that you can get involved with things like the budget process if you want, or committees of
Yeah.
adjustments, or planning meetings, et cetera, et cetera. I would
And
encourage
those
people.
and those streams, just so people know, much like this program as well, it's not really like a TV program where if you miss it and you didn't record it yourself, it's gone into the ether forever. These things are archived for you to use as reference points. Or research for things that you want to find out more about, or if you miss something, you can always go back and find them. Every one of these programs, since we started this in season 1, have been archived and are available. And Kevin, what is the? Let me ask you this. Now, I mean, being involved with it myself, I can dig around and find what I need to know. But for somebody that wants to, say, go back 6 months and see one of the programs, what's the easiest way for them to do that here with Niagara 411 Live?
Probably just click on the videos section on Niagara 411's Facebook page.
Yeah.
And if you like using YouTube, you can look up WeeStream on YouTube or Niagara 411 Live, and it'll all come up. But probably the easiest way to find the full library of archives and all the snippets and the excerpts is to go to the video section of Niagara 411. And here you go, Lee. Here was some of the budget committee meeting last night at City of St. Catharines. So.
And this is one of the things that we were talking about, is because of this new world order in which we live. You'll see the squares, the different players on the screen there. This is one of the things that the Zoom helps, but WeeStream can massage different angles and different cameras, different people at different times, so that all you have to do, you can be a passive participant, and all the work is done for you.
Yeah.
So that's great. All right, good, Kev.
Yeah, so that's good. Lee, before we get to Kim here, and we'll get to her in just a second from Gales, talk about living wage. Kind of along the same elements, Nick from Niagara 411 posted this from Community Care St. Catharines in Feulled.
Yes, 'tis the season, ladies and gentlemen, as we head into the holidays or get closer to them. Of course, we start thinking about this. Now, we should be thinking about this all year round, and I think we do a pretty good job of keeping this top of mind. But this is the season where the rubber really hits the road, to coin a phrase. And that is when Community Care of St. Catharines and Feulled and organizations like these around Niagara, and we'll talk about all of those as we get through into the seasons. Here are the most things in need right now for community care. We have canned veggies, we have hot and or cold cereals, and Kevin, you want to slide over there a little bit, canned pastas, and canned meats like hams or chicken or whatever, things that obviously don't expire, don't spoil in a short period of time. So they're asking, while you're out doing your weekly shopping this week, time goes fast before you know it. We're into December, we're into the cold season, we're into periods of time when families need more than they can get for themselves. So let's do it now, and then you can drop any of your donations off at Community Care on North Street in St. Catharines. So there you go. Gales Gas Bars is, and I was not part of it, but I was part of sort of getting the message out when I was working in radio here in Niagara when this happened, when Gales Gas Bars did this and announced that they were going to be a living wage business here in Niagara. What I did not know, and this was a number of years ago, what I did not know is that Gales is the only living wage champion in the petroleum industry in the province. Wow. That's quite a badge to be able to wear. And joining us to explain this is the HR manager for Gales Gas Bars Limited, Kim Shennan. Hey, Kim, how are you?
I am awesome. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Oh, our pleasure. Let's walk this back a little bit and and maybe you can give us a bit of a blueprint as to how this started, where you started and where we are today.
Absolutely. So I've been here at Gales since 2017, and when I first came on, Jessica Friesen, who's our current CEO, and I really focused on how do we make Gales an employer of choice? What are some of the things that we can do so that people would like to work for us? And we spent a lot of time looking at our company culture and really sussing out what did we stand for as a company. And we came up with a mission statement that is, we're here to fuel Niagara in every way possible. And I know when you sort of listen to that the first time, you think, well, you guys put gas in people's cars. Of course, you fuel Niagara. But for us, it goes a lot deeper than that. And fueling Niagara means taking care of our employees. And what can we do to do that? We want to make sure our employees have a safe work environment, that they enjoy coming to work, and that they're reasonably paid. So when we sort of established those as some of our core values and goals that we wanted to achieve, when we saw information about the living wage, we thought this is just a natural fit into that mission statement. This is a way of us making sure that our employees have the money that they need to pay their bills, and maybe extra money that they can then reinvest in our economy, which then fuels Niagara, makes us a strong and vibrant community. So that's how that all came to be.
And then what was involved in making this happen?
Well, it was the generosity of Jessica Friesen and her ability to, make some significant changes to her budgetary process and free up the money to do so.
Sure.
We also developed or developed with our insurance company a benefits package for our employees as well. So it's both a significant increase in pay plus a nice benefits package to make sure they're taken care of.
Kim, how is it determined, or how was it determined, what a living wage is for Niagara? And now I'm assuming it's much different than if you were running a company with a bunch of employees in the core of Toronto, as opposed to people that live and work and support businesses in Niagara. Where did the numbers come from?
Well, from what I gather, because we're not really part of that process, but it's the Ontario Living Wage Network that does, all of that research and looking at, they've looked at over the past couple of years the cost of inflation,
Right.
What is rent costing in all the different areas. So if you look at their website, you'll see that different regions have different living wages that are reflective of the economic circumstances of those areas.
And what is ours?
So they've made that determination.
What is
ours?
Yeah.
Right now,
Yeah.
they bumped it to $18.90 an hour.
Okay.
But employers that participate in the program have an option, as I said, of adding in some kind of benefits packages. And so all of that comes into play when they determine what each employer is paying in terms of their living wage based on the benefit plan.
So, and I don't want to get into income levels and all that, because we'll get bogged down in the numbers, but I'm just trying to understand how the plan works. With regard to Gales, which is the company that you can speak to, so the living wage is, what did you say, 18 and change?
Officially, I believe it's $18.90.
Okay.
As of, Monday.
All right. Now, does that, if I can try to read between the lines, does that $18.90 include the benefit packages, or is that the actual cash payment, and then any benefit plans or any added income benefit are on top of that? How does that work?
So the $18.90 is for an employer who is just paying out that as an hourly wage. If you, as an employer, so for us, we do have a benefits package.
Yes.
They have, I don't want to use the word reduced, but they've reduced the amount of money we pay on an hourly basis because we're making up for that with our benefits package.
Okay, so a company with no benefits package that wants to invent. So anyway, the where it all ends at the end of the day. I hate that phrase, but I use it anyway. At the end of the day, employees of Gales, no one makes when all is taken into account, benefits, hourly wage, the whole meal deal. Nobody makes really under $19 an hour.
Yeah, we do start people out still at minimum wage for their probationary period. But once we've passed the probationary period, everybody's there.
Yeah, Lee, I'm just going to hop in here, and hey, Kim, it's Kevin just off screen, and just came across on the Ontario Living Wage Facebook page, and they've shared a post from Gales, and I think this is important language. And you know what? I can throw it up here.
Yeah, please do.
So I'm not sure. I kind of just glossed over it there. That's right. Niagara is home to the first and only living wage employer in the petroleum industry, and we are a living wage champion. This means we prioritize the needs of our employees. We are proud to be a living wage champion.
Cool.
And Lee, we all drive cars. We all fill our cars with gas.
Absolutely.
But that means that every time we pull into a Gales gas bar to do that, we know that we're supporting that person. That person is getting a living wage to raise their families and support all the other small businesses right across Niagara. And Gales is built and propped up right here in Niagara. They fuel Niagara. This isn't lip service. I mean, you drive down every street and there's a gas station on your left and there's one on your right. Mm-hmm. And the one with Gales is paying their employees right here in Niagara a minimum wage. And the other employers that are bigger corporations, that are international corporations, are not treating their employees the same.
And that, Kim, is amazed me, is the fact that statement, Gales the only living wage champion in the petroleum industry in the entire province. That's actually it's positive from our perspective, but it's kind of a sad statement for the industry as a whole, considering some of the profits that are involved here.
Yeah, and I think it's important. I think it's important for everybody to understand that this is a third generation, independently, family-owned business. Yeah. We don't have the huge corporate resources that the Petrocans and Essos around the province have, and they're very invested in this community in Niagara and have been for decades, right from the very first Bob Gales. So I think it's important for your viewers to know that that we're here because we want to serve this community.
Let me ask you this question. This is a very timely conversation. I don't know if you were watching the program before you were brought on to speak with us, but it's a very timely conversation that you and I are having this chat today because of the recent announcement that as of January the 1st, the minimum wage in Ontario is going to be officially $15 an hour. And of course, this brought into the discussion the service industry. Now, I realize that Gales Gas Bars does not fall into that category. However, there are many ancillary debates around this topic as to how will this policy affect other nuances of compensation for employees in the province. There are those that will say, okay, well, I was making minimum wage before I was $9, or I was making $12 an hour over here, whatever. Now I'm making $15, and then the people that were already making $15 or $18 are saying, well, you gave him a $3 an hour raise, and now what are you going to do? Like, this is a bigger discussion than just who's making $15 an hour, because there are people that have been making that all along. Okay, I've been making $15 an hour for the last 5 years. Are you going to bump me up too? Now, I know you're already up there, but you see, as a human resources person, you can see the difficulties in these conversations.
It's interesting because it's a conversation that Jessica and I have often, because as you just have said, as we kind of address one issue, there is always a domino effect on other issues, and that's part of my job, is to make sure that when I'm working with our CEO, that I'm bringing to her attention that you might make a change here, but then what else do we have to adjust?
There's a ripple effect here.
There's a ripple effect, and that's that's a difficult conversation for us to have, because there's huge impacts. There's budgetary impacts. There's price impact. Like, it's just, as you said, it's not simply let's just bump minimum wage.
And I guess where I was going with it is, it has cost the organization more than just bumping up some people to this level. There's all those ancillary issues that come into play as well. So it's a big deal for a company to do this.
Yeah, it is. And here at Gales, I mean, one of the things that the Gales family has done for a long time has been very supportive of our community in terms of sponsorships and donations. So that's definitely an area that we're going to be looking at to see, okay, if we're going to have limited resources and we want to make the biggest impact, where do we spend our resources? And for us, it's with our employees.
How many employees in the Niagara region now, Kim?
Well, we vary daily, but we're somewhere in 100. We've got about 100.
Okay, very good. Kim Shennan, thank you, HR Manager for Gales Gas Bars Limited here in Niagara, fueling Niagara as well as fueling this program. And again, one of the things that, in the interest of full disclosure, one of the things that we do offer our sponsors is a monthly conversation about their business. And up until this point, all of the interviews that we've done on behalf of the sponsorship from Gales have been community-based organizations, nonprofit organizations that the company supports. It hasn't been in their own best interest. But in this case, this is Living Wage Week in Ontario. It's a time when there is a light being shone on this officially across the board. We took the opportunity to actually talk about the company and the great things you're doing, not just for us, but for your employees. So Kim, it's been a real pleasure. I've known Jessica a long time, and the family a long time. And again, there's no sacred cows here. They're people that I've known, but they're also people that do good work, and that's why we're here. So thanks for being here. Kevin, you had more?
Just one thing, Kim, before you go, I'm sure there's some people watching you right now going, you know what, they do seem like a very good employer. If people want to seek employment with you, if they want a job with Gales, how do they get in touch with you?
The easiest way is to send me an email with your resume, and my email address is really simple. It's hr@gales.ca.
Awesome. There we go.
All right.
And there's a lesson to everybody. Keep your emails simple. hr@gales.ca. It doesn't get much easier than that.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to join you this afternoon.
Kim, anytime, please reach out if you guys are in need. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. And it is a big conversation, Kevin. I was talking to another local company, not in this industry, in another industry, totally very competitive industry. It was a roofing company, as a matter of fact. And it's when this minimum wage was being debated a few years ago about increasing the minimum wage from where it is now, not to the 15, but from what it was to where it is now. And that was the big dilemma that they were scratching their heads over is, okay, we're an industry that's it's a labor-intensive industry. It's a tough. Try being a roofer. You'll want to do just about anything else. At the end of it's a tough job. So they pay pretty well for people to do that job. So now he's saying, okay, well now the minimum wage is this. How does that impact what we do? And we're already sometimes paying $18, $19 an hour. Do they go up? It's not an easy conversation. It's not an easy thing for businesses to do.
And we've discussed ourselves, myself and my partner, Brandon Scram, co-owners of WeeStream, whether or not it's something that we pay our employers far above the living wage. Mm-hmm. But we don't necessarily have hourly rates because that's not really how our business works. So I don't know.
It's a different business model.
Yeah, I don't really know whether or not we could stick that label on ourselves, but I'll tell you, we're very proud, and we make sure that we pay our employees well that work for us because we want good work and we want them to be loyal to us. So we make sure, like we've had these conversations. We said, what are we thinking about paying this person? Okay, add another $100 to it.
Okay, well, I've been meaning to have that compensation conversation with you for the last couple of weeks.
Oh boy, talked myself into that corner.
Yeah, so over lunch after the show, perhaps we can have a chat.
Lee, where do we want to go here? We want to go, there's NRP were busy last night, somebody tossing debris all over the QEW out at White Oaks.
There are a few things that are kind of interest that have popped up on Niagara 411. Thank you, Nick, and contributors again for helping us share this content when we do. Also to Nick's mom, hello, happy days. Also to Performance Heating and Air, Carlo and the gang. Again, I've been remiss in mentioning you as often as I should have so far in the program. But their goal is to save you and your family HVAC money because they have families here as well.
And you know what, Lee? Going to be making sure that we get Carlo on the show soon.
Yes,
because,
we're due. We're due to have that conversation.
People are turning their heat back on.
Yes.
Right? Over the last couple of weeks, the furnaces have all been turned on, and I'm sure some people have realized that,
'tis the season.
yeah, mine's not working like it should. So Carlo's the guy.
And to Mark Shirk, Blake Shirk, and the group at Verge Insurance Group, again, thank you so much for your weekly support of this program. It means a lot to us. It really does. So, yes, there was this weird thing. A bunch of vehicles struck by debris causing significant damage to multiple cars. Now, it was on the QEW Fort Erie bound at Glendale. It's right around where the overpass is at Glendale at White Oaks and the Outlet Mall area there. And Kevin, traffic flows through there at quite a high rate of speed. And if there's something in the middle of the road or something falling off of a vehicle, you can imagine the carnage that could cause. And it says multiple vehicles struck with debris. We're not quite sure what kind of debris. A comment came up said they thought they saw a mattress in the middle of the road. This fellow says, or Dario says, I was driving home at this time and there was an SUV pulling a trailer with some household items and a wrapped mattress. Looked like it was moving around a lot, it was pretty windy as well. Just as I got closer, it was obvious it wasn't tied down, just fluttering on its side in a trailer with a drive-up gate and a couple of foot sides, dark SUV. I knew that thing was going to go flying. This is a funny one. Now, this just is a perfect example of how social media comments tend to blossom. Mike says maybe they can get some DNA samples from the mattress and find them.
You know what, Lee? I'm going to go ahead and put a laughing emoji on that right now.
You got to do that.
There we go.
Now, from the moment I read that comment, I automatically took it as a joke. Sort of a sarcastic, backsided slap at humor, sort of like CSI Niagara on the Lake. But there were people that took him seriously. Said, "Oh, it would take him too long to do that."
Come on, the resources.
Oh, gosh.
And people.
Some people don't really have a lot of subtlety when it comes to that. Jessica says, I drove through this. There was a guy standing on the side of the road with a small trailer. It was a big older SUV. Some of the debris hit my car, but there was no damage to my car, thank goodness. There was huge pieces everywhere, though, and it almost caused multiple accidents. Well, I can understand that. It's not a funny thing when you start throwing stuff into traffic running at least 100 kilometers an hour through there.
Yeah, then you had this dingbat in Thorold.
Speaking of speed, an officer heard a loud vehicle approaching, clocked it at 103 kilometers an hour in a 50 zone, vehicle impounded for 14 days, license suspended for 30, also charged with no muffler and unnecessary noise. Now, if you're going to be making that much noise, should you be drawing your attention to yourself by going that fast? Well, obviously there's no logic involved here. Now, and Kevin, we were talking about this and look at this sign. There's the sign. There's the sign that sort of makes this picture. Slow, watch for children.
And he was going how fast?
103 kilometers an hour in a 50. Twice. the speed limit. 100% over the speed limit. And there was a conversation that was sort of fueled by this picture. And that was 150 or 103 in a 50 is a lot worse than 150 in a 100 or a 120.
There we go, right there. Leela made that point.
Yeah. 103 in a 50 is far more dangerous than 153 in the highway. Because you're already going fast on a highway. Not saying that everybody should get out there and go 150 kilometers an hour. But when you're 30, is it 30 or it's 50 over the speed limit is stunting, I think, is how the OPP look at it on the highways. But doing that in a residential area at that speed is significantly a higher risk than operating, unless you're doing some stupid maneuvering
by
on a highway.
comparison, let's look at 40 over. So 40 over, 140 on the highway is not considered stunt driving, nor is 80 in a school zone. Imagine ripping by a school at 80.
Yeah, a lot of people do. I see it every day.
But that's not stunt driving.
No.
But 150 and a 100 is.
Yeah.
Now, neither of them are safe, but if I had to gauge which was safer, 150 on a highway, where traffic's moving 120, 130, a lot safer.
How many people are at more risk in those two situations? Figure it out.
Exactly.
Because you usually don't have crossing guards coming across with a sign on the Queen Elizabeth Highway saying stop. Right.
Now, Lee, here's a story that I know you loved and you glommed onto right away on Niagara 411 about this this lamp.
This is something that I think probably all of us have either done or almost done. Here's a family that was moving, or a couple, or whatever. People are moving. And one of the items that had been packed in something, which was a lamp, was dropped off at the Value Village at Lundy's Lane in Niagara Falls. Only the crux of the matter, there it is. The crux of the matter is it wasn't supposed to go to Value Village. There was obviously something or some things that were supposed to go to Value Village because, we're not going to keep this. We're going to take it. Uh-oh, we gave away Granny's lamp. I was wondering if you could help us to locate a sentimental item, please. And this has to, it hurts when you do this. A very special lamp accidentally donated to Value Village during our move. It means so very much. We went back to Value Village when we couldn't find it amongst our belongings. Now, the lamp was gone, except for the shade. So somebody bought this thing or took it with them and, we'll put our own shade on. The shade doesn't match our decor, but I love the lamp. Which is the most important piece, of course. So, in a perfect world, there was an employee of Value Village as well. I work there, etc. And you can, people do this all the time, and you can actually call and say I made an accidental donation, etc. And you can get your item back. But in this case, the lamp was gone, as we understand it. So, hopefully, if you know somebody, you go into their house and you see this lamp, maybe they would feel disposed to return it, because sentiment being what it is. So, but Kevin, have you done? You said, what was it you lost? A bag of shoes?
A bag of shoes. Imagine losing every pair of shoes that you own, with the exception of the one on your feet. I was moving, I'm in my 20s or what have you,
That's
so
funny.
didn't have enough boxes, so all the shoes went into a garbage bag, and people were helping me, and next thing I know, it was to the curb and gone.
Wow.
I'm like, hey, where'd that bag go? I put it right here by the door. I had all my shoes in it. And trust me, I took all the blame for that. That's 100% my fault.
Did you go back and try to get them?
No, they were gone. Like, what am I going to CSI it through the landfill?
Oh, they were like in the garbage.
They're gone, yeah.
Garbage.
I packed them in a garbage bag. They put it at the curb, and by the time I realized it was sayonara. All my shoes, every pair of shoes that I had owned.
There's something cleansing about that, though.
Yeah, it was quite nice. I went on a shoe
now
shopping
you can
spree.
go out and go shoe shopping and start all over again.
Nothing I could do, Lee. Nothing I could do.
There you go. I've wanted to do that with my closet and my sock drawer and my underwear drawer and all this like stuff that you just gather over the years, and there's so much crap there that you never take out. It just sort of lays there for years. I think it must be quite cleansing to just get rid of everything. Be a minimalist, right?
Yep. No, it was. It was.
Two pair of shoes, three pair. Yeah, I
It was
don't.
nice.
Whatever.
Went and bought myself all kinds of pairs of shoes. I didn't shed too many tears over that one. I love shoes. So, Lee, here's another one, and I know there's some other stuff you want to get to as well, including pockets of St. Catharines that have high COVID rates. That's kind of disturbing. I'll load that up in a second, but
Okay.
this kid
Where
here
are we
that
going
lost his e-bike struck me as well.
One of the I was going to say fun, not necessarily fun. Sometimes it's fun. I find the most interesting element of what Nick and his contributors, you, have up on Niagara 411 and where some of these conversations go. Now, if you look at this e-bike, it's a pretty good looking e-bike, and we talk about stolen things all the time, and then the comments are such that sometimes things get warped out of position. This e-bike was stolen, and it's this one fellow's only form of transportation. This may seem a little silly, but I wrote this out before Teresa deleted her comment. I'd still like to post it for others to feel similarly. Okay, so this is the fellow that owned the bike, and somebody made a comment about the type of people that own e-bikes. And there are varying opinions of the kind of people that are riding e-bikes. Are you somebody that can't drive because you got your license suspended, whatever. But in this case, here's the real deal. Hi, Teresa, this is my bike. I'm a third-year university student, and this is my only form of personal transportation. Between expenses for school and rent, I unfortunately can't afford a car, let alone gas and insurance. I promise I have just as much right to the road as you, and I try to be a responsible driver. I do have my license, after all. Finding my bike stolen after class was heartbreaking. It has improved my quality of life so much to have something as simple as faster travel be more accessible to me over the course of the pandemic. I was able to visit friends, get groceries, deliver letters to, and you get the point of Ed's post. So I hope you can understand. A well thought out, calm, logical response to somebody that obviously made some sort of charge that, look who drives these things. Well, there's a classic example of some people who are actually using these things, and I would think that more people are using this kind of conveyance for purposes just like that post was alluding to than the dark side. I have to tell you, at some point in time, Kevin, I might actually think about getting one of those things. If as I advance in years, perhaps not all that necessary to own a couple of cars and all the insurances and stuff like we do now, and all the expenses that go with them. Where do I have to go? And I know a lot of people. I know a lady in British Columbia, as a matter of fact, doesn't own a car anymore. She's a professional person. She is retired from her day job, but very, very active. And she owns an electric bike, not a scooter type bike, an electric bike that you pedal but it's electrically assisted, I guess.
Yep.
And if she wants to go somewhere outside her realm of existence, she rents a car for the weekend, and off she goes. And no muss, no fuss, no hassle, no biggie. So there's a lot of different lifestyles that are out there right now. And for us to condemn somebody because of whatever conveyance they're using, that's really short-sighted.
It really is.
Really short-sighted.
One thing I wish they would do, I think they would. I wish they would mandate some people do it, putting on just a license plate, a vanity plate that identifies it as an e-bike, because some of them look like motorcycles.
Some of them look like motorcycles.
And as motorists, I'm not quite sure, because the motorist-bicycle relationship is different than the car driver-motorcycle relationship. And sometimes I don't know what relationship I'm in, Lee.
But to make it even more complicated, the regular cyclists, and I'm not talking about electrical assisted bicycles, I'm talking about regular cyclists, when making left-hand turns, for example, they're out in the middle of the road. They're allowed to be out in the middle of the road in streaming traffic to make their signal and turn left. They don't have to use crosswalks. They don't have to. They can be in traffic. So now you've got a bicycle, very obviously a bicycle, not an e-bike. Now you got a bicycle in the stream of traffic. That adds a whole different dimension.
Yeah.
To it.
Now, Lee, while we were being critical of people jumping to conclusions on the kid with the e-bike,
oh, yeah.
do you think it was safe to jump to conclusions on this story at a Welland this week? I mean,
and again, I'm sorry to laugh because somebody's day was ruined because they had an accident with a guy on a backhoe. So I apologize for the giggles because it was a traumatic day for you. I apologize. Jeremy West, 44 years of age, Port Colborne, charged with impaired operation of a vehicle. The vehicle just happened to be a backhoe.
And the drug just happened to be crystal meth.
Crystal meth.
And it happened to be 8 a.m.
Yeah. What can I say to this?
There's nothing.
The story tells itself, Kevin.
Oh man.
Impaired operation of a backhoe. 8 a.m. Substance crystal meth. And the only reason they got this guy is because of the unfortunate person on the other side who had an accident, a vehicular accident with the guy on the backhoe. Guess who gets the worst of the damage in that one?
8 a.m., hopped up on crystal meth in your backhoe.
And he was charged with resisting an officer or whatever as well because, that's what it said up there. Obviously, he didn't go quietly, as they say. Again, Kevin, you can't make this stuff up. You just can't make it up. Impaired. So, what are you in for? Impaired operation of a backhoe. What? Okay.
Now,
okay.
I'll pull up this story here, Lee. This is one that you pointed in my direction, and I was taken aback with it. I know, COVID numbers. I'm not watching them as closely as I once did, but this is surprising.
Yeah, this one caught my eye earlier in the week. St. Catharines neighborhood is the second highest COVID positivity testing percentage in the province.
And this is dated
And
Saturday.
Yeah, last week. So what neighborhood might you say this is? Well, it is in St. Catharines. It is the sort of what I would call extreme west, St. Catharines, west and northwest.
It's kind of the Grapeview area.
Grapeview area of Martindale. And you see Grapeview in gray, Martindale Heights in gray, and then this light gray area outlined in red. That's the postal code area. That is the highest positive testing rate in Niagara, and what did I say? Second highest in the province?
Highest in Ontario.
Second highest in Ontario.
Second highest in Ontario.
At something like 10%.
Yeah, 10%. That's right there. And we have other ones that kind of rank pretty high. Here's 12th highest in Ontario.
Yeah. One wonders why. What are the demographics? What are the profiles of these communities that make it so?
That's over in Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
that's north of the 420.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, between Niagara Parkway and the Queen Elizabeth Highway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got 14th highest is also in St. Catharines. L2S, Western Hill area, over into Ridley as well. It's kind of that whole area.
Oh, I know it's not your family. I know you did the you know.
No, we're further west of there. We're about as west as you can get and still be in St. Catharines.
Yeah.
Then we got one in Grimsby at 20th highest, right along the QEW corridor there. Probably Grimsby on the Lake, Lee.
Grimsby on the Lake.
26th highest.
Now, here's that area. I'm not throwing shade, as they say, on Grimsby. However, that particular area, does it not have quite a number of commuters to larger centers in it? Like I know a lot of people from the Toronto that work in the Toronto area or sold houses in Toronto. A lot of folks will have purchased real estate, etc. in that area of Niagara because it's more accessible to the smoke. So it might very well be that because they mingle with more people on a daily basis. I don't know. It's just conjecture.
Well,
as to why.
This is my neck of the woods right here. Yeah, that's me, L2R. 41st highest positivity in Ontario, Lee. It's not good.
You're doing okay.
Well, it's not good.
41st?
Yeah, 43rd is in Niagara Falls. So there you go. We got about 6 or 7 in the top 50.
Yeah. Well, at least my neighborhood seems to be doing its job.
Oh, yeah, as long as you're safe.
My neighborhood's not up.
Yeah, as long as you're safe. That's our number one concern, all of us.
Hey, if I survive, the world's a good place.
Lee, coming up musically, who do we have tabbed today?
We have Mel Monaco coming up today with a song just on the heels of Halloween. The title is appropriate. It's called Witch Sometimes, as in WITCH.
And I did not discuss with you, Lee, that the entire music video for that is 7 minutes long.
Ooh.
And I want to play it in its entirety because Mel's an artist.
Want to start it now?
I'm just letting you know we got about a couple of minutes before we should bring Mel Monaco on.
All right. Before we do that, by the way, I didn't know if I was going to mention this or not, but I am. We have been trying to follow the thread of the story about Jimmy. Downtown St. Catharines, ostensibly homeless person, a fixture.
I think I saw.
This is where I'm going.
Yeah.
A fixture in downtown St. Catharines. It was about 3 weeks ago now that we talked about the fact that everybody was all at Twitter, all feeling great about the fact that there had been an initiative that would enable Jimmy to be returned to his family on the res. Short form for reservation. So there was all this warm sort of kumbaya vibe going on about Jimmy, because everybody likes him, and rightfully so. He's a gentle soul, nice man, gentle soul. However, where the confusion comes in is, we were talking about this last week, and we're trying to keep a thread of some of these stories, is the fact that people said, well, I thought you said that he has relocated. I think I saw him just yesterday. Well, we didn't pick it up on camera because it kind of wouldn't have been the right thing to do. But when I was coming here to the set from the office down the street, Jimmy was asleep on the sidewalk here, just not far from Fiddler's Poorhouse on St. Paul Street. Not bothering anybody, he was just having a nap with his worldly possessions. And again, the question occurred to me, what is going on here? And Kev, I think maybe we will... do people call you Kev? I've never called you Kev before.
Yeah, sometimes. Not those closest to me.
Kevin, I would like to chat with somebody, and we're sort of running down on time on the program this week, but I would love to talk to somebody. If you know something about what's going on in the background, in the backstory of this, I'd really love to chat with you next week on the program and get a handle on what's going on with Jimmy, because, I mean, God bless, I don't mind seeing him. But considering we were all full of faith and light and hope and cheer because of the next phase of his life unfolding, and he's laying down here on the street having a nap today. What is going on here? I ask myself.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I wasn't gonna. I almost left it alone, but I thought it was a fair question
No,
to
I thought the
ask.
same thing. I saw him sitting there, and he's never had nothing but a smile and a kind word for anybody that passes by.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
next week's show.
Yes, let's do that.
Let's do it on a Wednesday instead of the Thursday. Thursday is Remembrance Day next week.
Thank you for reminding me.
How can you forget Remembrance Day?
I didn't forget Remembrance Day. It just slipped my mind how we were going to approach it. Remembrance Day, of course, is next Thursday. Our friends, well, I used to call them my friend, Kevin, Jack, and Brandon Scram and WeeStreem are going to be busy gentlemen on that day because there will be streamings taking place of Remembrance Day ceremonies, and of course there should be. So we're going to take a pass on doing the show on Thursday next week and allow everybody to recognize Remembrance Day as they should and enjoy the streams of the various ceremonies that WeeStream will be doing. Where are you going to be primarily?
We're going to be Niagara Falls and Port Colborne, and I believe I got to talk to Nick over at Niagara 411, but I think we'll be picking up the Niagara Falls Remembrance Day.
Okay.
Live stream. So for anybody that can't get out, or it's too cold, wants to participate, maybe you're locked in at work, just tune in to Niagara 411 and we'll bring it to you live.
Great. So we shall be deferring this program because of the efforts taken to recognize Remembrance Day, and we'll be doing Niagara 411 live with Lee Sterry on Wednesday of next week, November the 10th. So hope you can join us for that. And don't forget to click into Niagara 411 over the course of the week on Facebook, because we will put various excerpts of each show up for under our "In Case You Missed It" banner. So all of the shows are available there. Would love to thank once again Amy Layton, the organizer of the lip sync battle happening tonight at the Greg Fruin Theater. Go online, get a ticket. WeeStream will be sending their feed directly to you over Zoom, so have fun with that. It's all for Women's Place of Niagara, and thank you, Women's Place, for what you do. And also, Kim Shennan, HR Manager for Gales Gas Bars, thanks for joining us today. Gales, the only living wage champion in the petroleum industry in Ontario. Who knew? Well, now you do. Thanks for sponsoring the program. Also, Performance Heating and Air, Virgin Insurance Group. We'll do it all again next week. My name is Lee Sterry, and enjoy Witch Sometimes with Mel Monaco. Great weekend, everybody.
Whisper, whisper in my ear, telling me things I don't wanna hear. Careless thoughts creeping in my brain. Crack the whip, help the lion to tame. Not so hard when said aloud. Sometimes voicing makes me proud. Open up for all to see. Speaking truth sets us free. And just maybe I'm a witch sometimes, casting magical spells, whose voicing makes me proud.